Hello and welcome back to Rogue Trader. Last time, while doing a lot of our resource calculations, we did a lot of resaving, reloading, all of that sort of stuff, and some people thought that I may have missed the Muro 79 one due to what save we loaded. It's a fair point. So I went and had a look, and just to confirm, it is marked as complete, so at the very least the game believes that we have done it, which should be fine. If we haven't, we will probably be able to go back at some point anyway. So, that means that we're pretty much ready to move on from this act, right? Well, just about. There's one thing I want to do first. Before we move on from the act, I just want to make sure that we have all of our reps to the level that we want them. We've used all of our resources. I want to make sure that we are ready to actually progress. Because it feels like a good point to do that. It feels like a good point to make sure that everything is in order. Because otherwise, when we move into the next act and all sorts of chaos happens, things might not be as we want them to be. So let's see, it's not him, it's him. There we go. Hello. There shouldn't be an awful lot here, but I don't know if we did this after Kiava Gamma, so there'll be a reasonable amount. I guess I should sell you anything that is, because this rep will actually mean something in the next act. I should sell you anything that is specifically yours, so like holy gifts. Let's hide untradeable. Sort by type, and just go through this. So anything that's kind of neutral, we don't want to sell them, because there's no reason to. We're looking for things like holy gifts, which are purely for this guy. So we'll sell that. We only have one jewelry. Let's trade. Are we good now? We're now at level 17 with the Drusians. We are very, very far in. Holy gifts. Ship component you'll pay for, but again, I don't think that's one that we need to do immediately. Cool. Just wanted to do that first, so let's leave here. Then I want to have a look at the Imperial Navy. There are some tradable stuff, sure, we'll trade. That one's absolutely fine. That lets us buy, we don't quite have enough for this anymore, but lets us buy some more torpedo tubes, which I don't think are actually as good as our current ones, so we'll buy them anyway. That's fine. Head out of here. Oh. Apparently pressing the escape key didn't work in that instance. And then it was the Fellowship of the Void as the other one. So what's your special stuff? Oh, let's hide untradeable. Sort by type. Your special stuff is heretic trophies, of which we have a couple. Xeno artifacts, which we're keeping some of. And then the rest we're not too worried about unless we're at near the edge of a reputation barrier. So let's trade. So if we could get 2,000 more, let me just select tradable, which we can. We could potentially get this stuff. Let's see, swashbuckler cloak. Whenever the wearer has 2 melee weapons equipped, they gain 10 weapon skill and 15% critical damage. Don't think we need that. And we don't need the modified splinter pistol. Okay, at which point, like, there's no point in having a look at this right now. That seems fine. Okay, cool. We can now leave that one. And I just noticed we had a lot of these Eldari chainswords. We can probably get rid of some of this stuff. So, anything that we have a multiple of that we're not using, what we should do is we should, at the very least, split it and then add some of this to cargo, right? Like, we have a multiple of the Omniscient Axe. I've actually have it set to always add to cargo, so actually those should just be in cargo. Long las. I don't think we need it, but let me just have a look and see what you're using currently. You're only using the needle rifle. How does that compare to the long las? The hit chance is actually quite nice on the long las. I think I'll keep one. Yeah, let's split 2 off of that. Wait. Yeah, whatever. That'll work. Add that to cargo. Eldari chainswords. Again, I'm just going to split 2 off and then add them to cargo just to clear up what we got going here. That's fine. Same for armor. We got any armor we're not using, and I mean this is Eldari equipment. If we're not using it, add it to cargo. Everything else I think will be fine for now. Just a little check here just to make sure that we are where we want to be. Awesome. Next check is just to check that everybody is equipped with things that they can be equipped with. Even if we're not going to use it, it's still useful to have people be equipped, because then we have the option to use it in combat. And if we don't have them equipped, then we can't. have the option. You don't need that many med bags. Let's equip you with something else, like... yeah, a haywire grenade. Sure. I don't know. It might be terrible, but we'll equip you with one. That's fine. We do have quite a lot of resources here. We could, in theory, farm some more, or, like, you know, make some more cargo or anything, something like that, but I just don't see a need to do that. Okay, so now we've done this. Let's do a quick save, and I believe we are now 100% done with Act 2. We need to do this. The instant is wait, so that means it's not there. We cannot progress it to the highest level. Every colony is as far as every colony will go. Rumors, we went through this previously. We've done every rumor that is available to us that we can see. I think we are very, very, very firmly done with Chapter 2. Which, just to set a time on that one there, let me go to Steam and have a look. That is 102 hours to get to the end of Chapter 2. Alright, that's a fair amount. Now, that does include some of the time in the beta, which is about 4 hours, and some messing around time between episodes, but still, you're still talking like 90 hours at the minimum, which is fairly good, I would say, for 2 acts. Let's see how this goes. I did see, by the way, there was a patch like 2 weeks ago that had some stuff to do with Act 3 in it. I haven't read the patch notes, I just read the top part where it was like, fixed things in Act 3 where, you know, stuff happens, and I was like, oh, okay, well, we picked a good time to move into it because, you know, we haven't done anything in Act 3 yet. In fact, I don't even know if we're going to. This might just be more Act 2. No, it's obviously Act 3, but still. We finished Dargonus, right? Yeah, there's just nothing to build here. Okay, that's fine. Just thought I'd double check because it didn't look very finished compared to some, but that's okay. Von Valancius Palace. Oh, right, yes, somebody gave me suggestions on who to take into Act 3. Apologies. Let me see if I can find this person. Right, I found the comment I was looking for. When starting Act 3, I would recommend keeping Abelard, Argenta, and Urlet in your party for lore reasons. Abelard, Argenta, let's take out Adira, bring in Urlet. Heinrichs and Pascal makes sense. Heinrichs has to stand next to us for the ceremony anyway. I don't know if you have to do that, but it makes sense given that we selected him. This seems good. The only thing I would like to do is maybe find a way to fit in a Cassia or Jai in here so that we have the ability to talk to people. Could take out Pascal and put in Cassia? That's a risky business there. That is risky business. I'm going to do it. I don't know if I'm happy with that, but that's what we're going to do. So, let's see how this goes. But yeah, we do need the ability to talk to people. That is non-negotiable, I think. And this seems like the kind of situation where we might want that ability. So one of them has to come with us. Glory to the great rogue trader. Greetings, your lordship. Okay. Okay, given that everyone's got new stuff to say, does that mean that these people around the edge have new stuff to say? Like if I go and speak to Argenta over here? Nope. Okay, that's fine. That's all I needed to know. Right, let's head straight in here. Everyone's saying long live. Although, wait a second, we're on Dargonus. We're all alone anyway, so why was I so sure, worried about party selection? Wait, why did it make me even select my party? Let's not worry about that. Let's go. It's probably because last time we came to Dargonus, it was a party-based thing. Or maybe that selects your party if things happen. Which I am naturally assuming they will. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. Right, keep going in here. Keep going in here. Master of Ceremonies? I kind of assumed it was in here somewhere. Wait, is the Master of Ceremonies outside? Or is the Master of Ceremonies you? Oh, Master of Ceremonies. Perfect. Thank you for just being labeled Master of Ceremonies. Although, wait, is he highlighting when I do this? Yeah, well, that's good. Okay. The servant in fine clothes offers you a deep bow. Your lordship, it is a great honor to serve you in undertaking in an undertaking as monumental and as glorious as the Magnae Accessio ceremony. You've been entrusted with arranging the festivities? I have indeed, your lordship. I've been given the high honour of being steward of this eminent palace, and on the occasion of your lordship's ascension, I will be overseeing the preparations for the ceremony. House Drivestem, to whom you entrusted the arrangements for the festivities, wishes you good fortune and is sincerely delighted to serve you as they serve the Honourable Theodora von Valancius before you. Is everything ready? The palace decorations are prepared and we are ready to begin at your command. The festive activities in the capital have likewise been arranged, and the guests of honour have either arrived on the planet or are awaiting invitation in near orbit. The servants are already in your chambers to see to it that you are impeccably garbed for the occasion. Then let us begin. May the Emperor be with us this day. Okay. Well, I'm ready. Let's see. I'm excited. Everything could change here. There could be a complete change in how we play the game. We'll see. I mean, there kind of was between Act 1 and 2. Rejoice, von Valancius subjects. In honor of his ascension, the new rogue trader generously shows you his favor. Ah, this was our choice. Wonderful. In his unfathomable benevolence, the rogue trader has decreed that every soul be given a day's ration and personal fuel cells so that all may be fed and warm on this day. Praise the rogue trader's magnanimity. Okay, cool. And... oh. What's happening? They're just stealing all the stuff? Or is that allowed? I think that was okay. I'm a little bit too jumpy. The crowd below is roiling, their electrified exultation filling the air of Dargonis. Thousands of throats chant your name. You're at the apex of this world and all others. Yeah, you're letting us hit the peak. You're letting us get to the point of overconfidence and pride and arrogance, and you're going to tear us down, and I'm ready for it. Amplified by 100 voxes, the voice of the Master of Ceremony booms. Rejoice, subjects of Dargonis. You've been granted the felicity of witnessing your master, a great honor bestowed upon us by rogue trader Malachi von Valancius. Gracious savior of Dargonis and vanquisher of blaspheming inhumans, may their unholy kind perish in the flames of righteousness. So we got that because we came here before it got destroyed by Drukhari. Awesome. Excruciator of heretics, who eradicated the corruption of arch-enemy worshippers and cleansed Yanis. So we killed Visten's Viat during the events on Yanis, so that was the governor. Okay, so this is showing us our choices that we've made up until this point. I wonder if that's going to start becoming more and more important as the game goes on. It seems like that what they're going to do is, as it goes on, what it's allowed us to do is expand a lot in Act 2, right? Make a lot of choices, do a lot of stuff, shows us a lot of what's happening. So it's gone, here are all the choices you can make, and then as we reach the end of the game, it's going to narrow again. It's going to go, okay, well you made these choices, and you made these choices, so this is the way your story is playing out. So I kind of feel like we've made a lot of the big decisions that we're going to make, we just don't know the consequences of those decisions just yet. Gracious, protector of Fruitfall, patron of trade. So we save Fruitfall Station from starvation by granting it our patronage and delivering shipments of grain. Okay, this seems like I'm happy with our choices so far. A hush falls over the crowd who gaze upon you in adoration. Many of them bear terrible scars from the recent Battle of Dargonis. Like children, they await the words of their almighty father. Interesting, so these are the three things it mentions. It doesn't mention Kiava Gamma, which I guess could make sense. We don't want people to know what's happening there. And it does not mention Veabo 6. Again, I guess we don't want to tell people what happened there. Fear not the coming day. Henceforth you are all my charges. Joyful cries carry your name upward, beyond the atmosphere of Dargonis, all the way to the Emperor's throne. You hear a rustle behind you as Heinrich leans forward in a ceremonious bow. Also, yes, we've got Heinrich and Abelard next to us. Makes a lot of sense. It's what we asked for, but that's still cool. In that moment, the eyes of your many subjects flare with fanaticism. This single unassuming gesture from an unassuming servant of the Inquisition serves to them as the ultimate proof that the hand of the Emperor truly is at work in this dark sector. So by him bowing to us, we've now got the approval of the Inquisition, which now means that everybody else is like, yeah, we're vetted. Adequate. Dargonis is not disappointed. Abelard forces the smile of satisfaction from his face and whispers to you. You remember the next part, yes? Your lordship will be asked to take the oath. Did I miss something there? Oh, okay. No, it just popped up and then disappeared, but there wasn't actually anything that happened. Okay. The Master of Ceremonies bows to you with great reverence. Let the oath of the von Valancius dynasty be taken. Please repeat after me. Your lordship. I, Malachi, rogue trader by the grace of the Emperor, vow to be the paragon of humanity. I, Malachi, rogue trader by the grace of the Emperor, vow to be the paragon of humanity. Your lips repeat the words of the ancient oath. Unbroken by adversity, to walk bravely first into darkness, to unite and reclaim what was lost, to triumph over nightmares untold, to hold boldly to the reins of fate, to walk steadily the road of thorns, through pain to greatness. You hear a rumble. It is the roar of the sea of your subjects. With jubilation and devout fear, they welcome your ascension. It is done. Nobody attacked us? This seems incorrect. Wait, what? We have assumed the mantle. Enjoy the reception. Master of Ceremony should be notified at the end of the reception. Ooh, okay. Interesting. So, the nobles of the Protectorate and influential guests have gathered at the reception on honor of Theodore von Valancius' heir. The social occasion is a political event where alliances will be forged, which is why the rogue trader must seize the opportunities presented to him. The Master of Ceremony should be notified at the end of the reception. Interesting. So, what is setting up the next part of this is instead of us being like, we're being attacked as happened in the first one, instead it's we need to find out what the other rogue traders are thinking and make choices. Is this, I was going to say that looks like a roulette. What's happening here? This exotic statue, which formerly pleased the eyes of Xenos, now adorns the palace of this dynasty of glorious explorers of the Koronus Expanse. And at the other side, is that us? The noble features of this guardian of humanity burn with righteous fury and stern resolve. No, that is not us. Also, where does this take us? I don't really know. Okay. Back into the palace, but still. Anything, Erlet? No? We'll come back to you? Okay. Scattered haphazardly around the table are bottles of expensive amasec, plates of provisia nobilis, and hookahs of obscura. Okay. So we have a lot of people in here. Yeah, I'm just looking at the names that we've got. Oh wow, I'm actually recognizing some of these names. So, let me just go through here. So we have Governor Urbens Drivestem, who is obviously our governor. Astartia Versarian, we haven't heard of, but must be another member of the Versarian house. We have Abelard. Don't know who Brass Whisper is, but Xavier Calcazar is the head of the Inquisition. Interesting. Hectic Sourback, I don't recognize, but I think the Sourbacks were another house. Same with Gaprak. So let's see what's happening over here. Oh, hello everybody. They all turned at once. Governor Urban Drivestem stands surrounded by highborn guests like a planet orbited by many moons. All of his charm is directed at a man in resplendent power armor, adorned with the sigil of the Inquisition. But as soon as you approach, Drivestem is the first to give you an elegant bow, getting ahead of the rest in the expression of loyalty. This is a great day, your lordship. Well, think about this politically. He is showing his sign of loyalty to us. We are now effectively showing how we feel about him. So I guess I'll say, I welcome you to my palace, honoured guests. You are buffeted by a salvo of congratulations and compliments. Because I'm an iconoclast follower, I can study the faces of the nobles in attendance. Drivestem is, obviously, still the leader of the Dargonus aristocracy. But, judging by the courtesy he is showing to young Sourback, he clearly wants to strengthen his relationship with that house. The senior Sourback and Gaprak are whispering in another corner. Sourback, whose family seems to be giving you the cold shoulder, must be trying to sway Gaprak to his side. Which could be advantageous to Lady Gaprak. After all, the disaster on Kiavagama has left her family in an extremely vulnerable position. The Versarians stand apart, their exclusion from the rest palpable. Let's have a look at the guests. Also, I like that because we're iconoclast, we're caring more about the people themselves, so we're getting an insight into the people themselves. I think that's an interesting little thing that we've got there. Among the aristocrats surrounding the opulently dressed Drivestem, you notice a couple of young nobles in Sourback and Gaprak colours. It would seem that the major noble families of Dargonus have decided to introduce their younger members to society. The tall man in grey power armour, adorned with a column with a skull, is undoubtedly a high-ranking inquisitor. He keeps to the periphery of the conversation, seldom deigning to comment. Next to him is his entourage, a rangy warrior in black armour and a tech priest clad in red, whose face is hidden behind a brass mask. Okay, so we know who these three are here. Okay. Abelard stands somewhat apart from the others, as if reluctant to approach Drivestem. Next to him is a young woman, and you notice a family resemblance between them. Okay, I can now use my logic to guess who's allied, unlike we've already used our iconoclast stuff, but let's do that. Drivestem is obviously the leader of the aristocracy. This is the same as what we got for iconoclast. So I guess, yeah, this is showing what previously happened. So it's, if we were iconoclast, which we are, we care about the people and we're able to see the insights because that's our character, right? That's our that's our personality allowing us to do that because that's naturally who we are. However, you can get the same information if you're able to logically figure it out. Okay, but we just happen to be both. Yes, this is the exact same thing. Well, I think what we do first is we nod to the Inquisitor. My greetings to the member of the Holy Inquisition. Ooh, we got a portrait. Imagine we're going to get a few of these here. He responds with a dignified bow, his proud face calm and unfaltering. My greetings to you, esteemed Malachi von Valancius. May shadows never darken the light of the Astronomicon that guides you. I appreciate your display of loyalty to the Imperium. By having one of the Holy Ordo's members at your side during the ceremony, you have demonstrated that you consider yourself a son in the fold of our reverent organization. The Inquisitor's companion, a crimson-robed member of the Adeptus Mechanicus, bows to you. From behind the brass mask, mounted with dozens of augments, comes a metallic rasp. Glory to the von Valancius heir. Let's study the Inquisitor and his companion. Our awareness is not as bad as it has been. Let's see, and we get double rolls. Don't forget, we get double rolls on all of our checks now. So, we passed. Wonderful. The Lord Inquisitor's relaxed expression radiates an odd sense of menace. He is akin to a predator on the prowl, content to hide in the brush of fake smiles and elegant conversation. For now. Okay. So, although he's happy to keep things chill for now, he's looking for any reason to call heresy. Among the many augmentations, what stands out is the horribly melted, deformed cogitator connected to the tech priest's head. How it is working is baffling. What is twice as baffling is that the tech priest hasn't replaced it yet. What an unpredictable influence can this ruined implant have on his mind? And who is this member of the... Well... And who is this member of the honourable priesthood of the Adeptus Mechanicus? This is Brass Whisper, which naturally is not his real name. The esteemed Magos is a member of my retinue. There are times when I'm forced by my duty to the Emperor to deal with xenotechnology, and Brass Whisper ensures my safety in such moments. Works that have been desecrated by Xenos are dangerous. They warrant... His whispering cuts off, replaced by heavy, ragged breathing. It seems that the tech priest's quiet voice is not an extravagant quirk, but rather a consequence of some injury. After catching his breath, Brass Whisper continues. Warrant due caution. We have not been introduced. An oversight, to be sure. My name is Xavier Kazar, and I have the honor of serving as a member of the illustrious Ordo Xenos, the head of the Koronus Expanse conclave, and the Lord Inquisitor of this region. It is my unending task to ensure the sector's readiness to meet external threats and resist internal corruption. An unexpected visit, I wasn't told. I, however, have been told all about you. The Inquisitor's face is impenetrable, but behind this mask you detect a hint of mockery. Enjoy the party. This evening will certainly be illuminating. What were you discussing just now? We were talking about the brutal Xenos raid on our fair Dargonus. So many victims, so much damage to our industries. Thank the Emperor that you are our protector. If it weren't for you, the cursed invaders would have obliterated the whole planet. He offers you a thin and obsequious smile. Sharing the sector with the blasted Xenos is impossible. I hope we respond to the raid on Dargonus with a punitive campaign. Young Sarabak's smile is conceited and bloodthirsty. So who have we spoken to? So, yes, drive stem. Okay, let's speak to Sarabak first. I see you hate Xenos with all your heart. I do. This pestilence against the Emperor must be exterminated. He talks ardently and smoothly, like a commissioner. Or a commissar, sorry. He places his hand on the hilt of his finely adorned sword, his pale face ablaze with noble fury. By having a member of the Inquisition by your side at the ceremony, your lordship has shown your intent to closely abiding by the Imperium's credo, to root out the Xenoscourge, and House Sarabak will offer every support to you in this righteous undertaking. Or they must be forced into servitude. Many Xenos are more useful alive and obedient than dead. The young man in Gaprak colors speaks with sagacity and gravity, but his opinion seems to carry little weight in this circle. So, wisdom, I think, is what he's saying there. I'm also fairly certain that if I heard someone say it, I'd be like, ah, it's that word. But from reading it, I'm like, I have no clue. Let's see. I can say, since you already promised it, I will accept your support. Hereby impose a duty on your house. You are to provide me with soldiers, and you, young man, are to lead them. Please me to see such earnest faith. I must commend you. How many Xenos have you killed personally? Or they're not just a threat, they're an opportunity. Interesting. I don't think I'm going to hold him to it. I don't think I'm going to say that he's going to lead it. I think I'm going to say, it pleases me to see such earnest faith. I must commend you. Sarabak blushes and raises his chin. House Sarabak is stalwart in its faith, your lordship. Are you imagining things, or did you just notice the mocking glint in the eye of the Inquisitor standing among the guests? I'll look at Abelard's young relative. What is your name? Your lordship, allow me to introduce the daughter of Chancellor Clementia of Versarion, my great-granddaughter, Astartia. Abelard looked solemnly upon the young woman with barely concealed pride. I am delighted to witness you, your lordship. Astartia bows, keeping her observant and intelligent eyes trained on you. Modesty forbids my esteemed forebear to say this himself, so I will. Our entire family is grateful to you for wishing to see someone of Versarian blood at your side as you claim your inheritance. Drabstem exchanges telling glances with young Sarabak, who, judging by his face, is suddenly finding the collar of his expensive coat uncomfortably tight. How are you finding the reception? It is difficult to put into words, your lordship. Never before have I seen such a grand and striking ceremony. Astartia's voice sounds passionate and inspired, and her eyes shine with barely contained excitement. But I was so much more amazed by your generosity. The provisions that are being handed out in the streets of the capital will make the difference between life and death for many of those who lost everything in the Xenos attack. Ooh, perception check here. Young Gaprak keeps staring at Astartia curiously and a little bashfully. Seems the boy likes her. That was a very easy thing to find out. Okay, interesting. Where are the rest of your kin, Abelard? They're in the city, preoccupied with running the festivities and watching over some of the more crucial services. No incidents can be allowed to ruin your ceremony. Astartia frowns and adds peevishly, I asked the esteemed Abelard to put me to some important task too, but he bid me to attend a reception where I can do nothing to serve your lordship. Sarabak smirks. If I had known, I too would have asked Abelard to let you miss the party. I hope the Versarian family gives Abelard the credit he deserves. Absolutely, your lordship. We greatly respect him for his wisdom, and he repays us with attention and kindness, she says warmly. I am obliged, dear Astartia. Looks like Abelard is somewhat embarrassed by the turn this conversation has taken. I'm wondering whether to ask question 2. I'm going to do it. So you wish to become my servant as well? Astartia flushes and starts talking quickly with fire in her voice. It would seem that she finds work-related conversations far more interesting than court gossip. Of course, I've been working on a project for the last 4 years. We could set up... Enough, Astartia. I highly doubt his lordship is interested in listening to the fantasies of a young woman about how to ruin his protectorate. Abelard shoots Drivestem a glare so dark and bloodthirsty that the latter instinctively starts looking for the nearest warden. Okay. Hold your tongue, Urbend. I decide who may speak and who may not. Please continue, Astartia. We failed. Oh no. Drivestem's words have clearly shaken Astartia's confidence. Her speech becomes confused and unconvincing. All you can tell from her rambling is that she was obsessed with the idea of setting up some kind of network of beacons, and this idea should probably be scrapped. At last, red with shame, Astartia stops. Enjoy the evening. Thank you, your lordship. I'm ready to accept your congratulations. Okay. Interesting the way they just phased through everyone else. These random people. In that case, allow me to be the first to offer them. Drivestem snaps his fingers, and several servants approach you with gifts. The governor points to a thin, curved Drukhari blade. My soldiers took this splendid trophy from the body of one of the Xenos commanders. The weapon is too beautiful and forbidden for anyone but your lordship. Severed hand. Okay. A venomous strike one-handed melee weapon. A dark curved blade crafted by the despicable Drukhari. This deadly weapon was claimed as a trophy in the Battle of Dargonis. Cool. Young Sarabak squeezes through to be the next, pushing Gaprak aside with confidence. Your lordship, House Sarabak anticipates the onset of unsettled and bloody times. To make the ungodly Xenos cower at your approach, my family humbly presents you with a dozen pieces of secondary armament for your ship. Young Gaprak bows ceremoniously. House Gaprak is delighted to present you with this blessed work of the Omnissiah's smiths. May this locator matrix, which boldly took the holy artisan an entire lifetime to create, always show you the right path. So it gives us a bonus to awareness. Okay. What? Okay. I think this is incorrect, but that's terrible anyway. Having let the aristocrats go first as a sign of deference, Abelard is the last to speak. Your lordship, House Versarian, possesses no relics worthy of your acceptance, but we're a rich and talented and hard-working people. As a sign of our loyalty, I humbly offer you my flesh and blood. 100 of my kin will go to your colonies in your protectorate, and use all their talents so that the worlds in your charge may prosper. So, this is not true, but I think this means I'm now at 76 profit factor. I can check that, right? In my inventory? In my cargo manager? In my colony manager? Yeah, I'm still at 64, so I'm not really sure what happened. Oh, I went up by 2. So yeah, I must have got something here. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, something changed. So we've now spoken to all of them. Okay, interesting. This is much slower than I thought it would be, but I'm liking it. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I was expecting immediate attack like the previous time. This time it's like, no, you get a little time to enjoy yourself, wander around. This venerable Leman Russ is known as the Scipian Punisher and has served the von Valancius dynasty for 2 centuries. It was hit in the battle with the Xenos that inhabited Scipia too, but it heroically destroyed 63 enemy vehicles and brought victory to its comrades, securing its status as a relic blessed by the Emperor. Okay, cool. Continue exploring. These magnificent paintings were created in a style that fully complies with the artistic canon approved by the Ecclesiarchy. Ah, yes. Art specifically made to fit a select, set of rules. That is the best way to achieve the best art, obviously. No, out-of-the-box creativity here. Okay, what is this? This eerily crackling Xenos trophy is a testament to how the Omnissiah's gifts become twisted shadows of themselves in the hands of inhumans. What is happening here? Are you shooting condemned? Okay, what? Okay, I'm not really sure what we're doing here. I don't want to shoot them. I would very much like this not to be us shooting them. Okay. Well. That wasn't really what I was aiming for. What's happening here? That seems so deliberate, this guy walking over here, but... Okay. I don't know. Well, I hope me shooting them had no, impact, as I didn't know that was what it would do. I mean, I kind of had a feeling, but I was hoping it would give us something else. What is this? Fragment of an Aldari pillar, a trophy to the rogue trader, and a never-before-seen oddity to most citizens of the Imperium. So this is something from her ship, I think, from Urlet's ship. Okay, let's have a look up here. The magnificent altar to the God Emperor is wreathed in the fumes of precious incense. Lord Xenos?
Just as I planned.
The Drukhari captive is angrily muttering curses directed at the detestable Monkey, promising horrible torture for everyone present. Wild xenobeasts are growling ferociously, adding flair of thrilling danger to the mood of the palace. Well, he's asking us to let him go, however, we have no means in which we can do that, so I'm going to leave him be. We may do just a quick check here before we go inside. And that quick check is, are we meant to be able to say anything to Urlet? Let me just see here. So Urlet. So what's this called? The Emperor and my right. So, the Emperor and my right. Urlet not speaking. Okay. I'm just seeing whether there's anything we can do here. Okay. There are many questions. There are many problems, basically. Okay. Let me just see if there's anything here. Very quickly, I'm just seeing if we got anything there. Blah, 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 blah. Enjoy the reception. I'm just seeing if there's anything that we need to do. So, talk to the Master of Ceremonies. Enjoy the reception. You get the severed hand and the coordinated oracle. It doesn't suggest that there's anything linked to speaking to Urlet. Okay, so we're going to try one thing to get the dialogue. If it doesn't work, we give up. Right, so we're going to reload the game. Right. But yeah, if this doesn't work, we just give up entirely and we move on. But I was just double checking there wasn't a part of the quest that was like, you need to speak to Urlet, otherwise Urlet will leave and your story will be ruined. There we go. The gatherings look odd and unusual. I will remember this. Wonderful. Glad that we took the time out of our day to figure out why she wasn't speaking to get that truly important line. There was no way the entire context of Act 3 could have been so different without it. We're still also in Act 2, firmly, from what I read there when I was looking at the quest, because it said, you know, it said an Act 2 quest, although I guess it also says it here. Okay, anyone down here? Aristocrats of various kinds. Aristocrats, I'm just checking that everyone is an aristocrat. Yep. Okay, aristocrats. Over here. Just want to make sure we don't miss anyone. Wardens. Okay, so we have our chambers in here, where nobody is, and we have all of these guys. Let's just briefly check our chambers. See if anyone's hanging out in here. Also do another quick save, because I'm paranoid. Just a little bit paranoid. Anyone out here? Guess we can have a look. That's the same thing we saw previously? I think so. Okay, we'll skip that. Yeah, it's basically the exact same one we saw before, except it's slightly darker this time, I believe. In here. Nobody. Nobody. Okay, so this is just, this being here is just because it's the peace map, as in it's the not a battle happening version of the inside. It's not because there's anything to do here. Okay. We'll do a quick save here. And now we get to see what everyone has to say. So we have some aristocrats. We have some people right in the center here. Incendia Chorda. We have Cassia off to the side. Let's have a look. What have we got? A collection of proudly... Sorry, everyone started speaking over the top of it. Proudly displayed weapons that belong to the distinguished rogue traders of House von Valancius. Okay, is that are these the same? These swords belong to the presumptuous governor of Aebo VI who staged a revolt hundreds of years ago. The insurrectionist's hands, preserved against decay, still rest on the sword's hilts. These sinister Xenos instruments of death are now trophies demonstrating the invincibility of House von Valancius. Okay, so we got some people around here. We got little groups. Let's start with Adira. This is pure chaos. How can people think so much and so haphazardly? May the Emperor keep you, Malachi. A great day. Jai? I hope at least this celebration in your honor won't end in a shootout. Okay, this looks like a big real one. We've got Tarina Gaprak. So I'm assuming this is the Elder Gaprak. We got Regina Sauerback and Macarius Sauerback. So these must be the Elder Sauerbacks and the Elder Gaprak. Then Heinrichs. I'm trying to find an angle where we're not looking through a pillar or something. A group of aristocrats stands apart from the governor's circle. The whispering carries a tinge of displeasure. The clear leader of this gathering is a gaunt, bilbous-faced man dressed in Sauerback colours. This must be Macarius himself, head of the house. He offers you a ceremonious bow. My congratulations, your lordship. May the Omnissiah grant you understanding. The woman with whom he is conversing, the one dressed in a robe with gear-shaped documents, or adornments, is Tarina Gaprak. It is difficult to read her face due to being covered in numerous augmentations. Let's observe them. Toriana Gaprak looks rather anxious. Macarius Sauerback, dressed surprisingly plainly and austerely for an aristocrat of such high rank, is frowning suspiciously. He came to the reception with a companion, a woman of dazzling beauty wearing a gilded augment necklace around her throat. His wife, probably. Heinrichs, who joined the group unnoticed, mostly keeps silent, listening intently to their every words. How are you these days, Toriana? Like a forging hammer, Toriana's voice falls heavily on the ear. The corruption of Kiava Gamma was a great blow to my family. The contemptible Cubus Delphum betrayed our trust, desecrated the Forge cathedrals, and took my esteemed cousin's life. On behalf of my family, I humbly beg you to forgive our negligence. I'm ready to accept any punishment. Okay, let's look closely at her. There was something lurking beneath Toriana's repentant expression, a grudge. It would seem she was personally offended by the nightmare into which Cubus Delphum plunged her domain, and she feels betrayed. Tell me more about your family. We Gapraks originate from the Calixus sector, from the cluster of planets known as the Lathe Worlds. We worked faithfully for the good of our masters there, the Adeptus Mechanicus, and through our service we gained a spark of the Omnissiah's knowledge. Then fate tied us through the bonds of fealty to the venerable von Valancius dynasty, and we found ourselves in the Koronus Expanse. Generation after generation we fulfilled our duty faultlessly, until Kiava Gamma destroyed and disgraced our name. Okay. Well, do your parts to heal the wounds inflicted on Kiava Gamma and your house will be forgiven. Toriana raises her mechanical eyes to the ceiling. I swear on the Omnissiah's all-encompassing insight, make every effort to justify the cost of its resurrection. Yeah, so again, I don't know what this actually means, so did we gain a bunch of profit factor, did we not? I don't know. Macarius scoffs. It was only a year ago that none of us could doubt House Gaprak's usefulness, and yet here you are, Toriana, on your knees justifying the cost. Macarius, I'm surprised you deigned to make an appearance here this evening. Macarius's face twists into an unpleasant smile, which makes the artificial skin on the left side all the more prominent. I am a servant of the von Valancius dynasty. Had I not come, I would have committed an act of unacceptable insolence and damaged my family's honor. Macarius's wife offers you a charming smile, as if apologizing for her husband's vitriolic tone. Her large, dark eyes are brimming with curiosity. What's displeased you, Macarius? Macarius says with caution, I am your dynasty's loyal servant, but you have asked and I will answer. Too long has the Koronus Expanse lived under the rule of rogue traders. The privileges granted to them make people think that commoners too can dismiss the prohibitions of the Imperium. For the good of the sector, rogue traders must become paragons of the law, not exceptions to it. But do many warrant holders exhibit lawful conduct? No, they do not. Even you, your lordship. are the subject of the strangest of rumors, and you've just recently inherited your protectorate. Kunrad Voigtvir's people, for instance, claim that you had a hand in the esteemed Theodora's demise and accuse you of many other misdeeds. It doesn't matter whether or not their claims are true. The people hear them, believe me, and think that they may follow your example. Okay, let's see what we got here. We should duel. I forbid anyone to repeat his lies and heresy and pose a fine on him. Rogue traders are not renegades vested with authority. We are the long arm of the Imperium, and I shall prove it to you. Your poor head tormented with so many concerns, would you like to have it removed from your shoulders? Or you speak to of the sector's confidence with such confidence, sector's future with such confidence. Could it be that you want this power for yourself? That you simply envy rogue traders? Let's see how we're going to handle this. I think if we say 2, that is going to seem like we're hiding the truth. I think if we say 1, we're going to make an enemy. I think if we say 4, we're going to make an enemy. And I think if we say 5, we're going to make an enemy. I think 3 is the only answer for us. Rogue traders are not renegades vested with authority. We're the long arm of the Imperium, and I shall prove it to you. I wouldn't dare accuse you of anything, your lordship. I am simply concerned. If you happen to lay my concerns to rest, House Sarabak will be praying for your well-being every day. I'm not going to click... I saw 2, I've read it now, I'm not going to click it, because that could mean I would like to know your wife better, or it could mean I would like to know your wife better. Wink, wink. So, because I don't know which way it's phrased, I'm not going to say it. I wish to know more about House Sarabak. Macarius puffs out his chest and says proudly, the Sarabak line was one of the first noble houses to arrive in the Koronus Expanse. For millennia we have served the Golden Throne and kept the faith. Sarabak warriors have bled in 100 wars and at different times have ruled a great many colonies of the von Valancius dynasty. I see. Macarius bows his head without too much reverence. Interesting conversation, Heinrichs? It's been very illuminating. Given me plenty of food for thought. Heinrichs' response is barely audible. Awareness test failed! Oh no! Heinrichs looks away, tracking the guest's movements around the hall. What can you tell me about my guests? Well, Macarius Sarabak is all but throwing darts at your portrait. He is more astute at choosing women than enemies. He is trying to entice Gaprak to his side, but she is too frightened after the fiasco on Kiava Gamma. Even in leisure, you never cease to be of help. I appreciate it. That is why they call it the unsleeping eye of the Inquisition. Even in sleep, I hear everything. Malachi, before this gala concludes, there is something I'd like to tell you. Be careful today. I sense that a wave of darkness will soon hit our defensive lines, and I hope that I will still get a chance to meet you there as an ally. I will leave silently. Okay, that's interesting. I have had other people say, by the way, that they've already had people like Heinrichs leave their party by this point in the game. And we've, I think, seen that option for us previously. So, you're not necessarily going to get all these voice lines on every playthrough, which is intriguing. Okay. The skull of the legendary pirate Lakshim the Freak, who terrorized the Koronus Expanse 3 centuries ago, was claimed in a boarding attack by the esteemed Theodora von Valancius. Okay. Again, that's more of her being around for a long time that we've seen previously. I'm going to ignore these two for now deliberately, because we'll do them at the end. Strange Servitor. And Pascal. Pascal greets you with a bow. Extending congratulations to Unit Malachi von Valancius on attaining your new legal status. The servitor standing next to him is examining you obliquely. It quickly looks away upon realizing you have noticed. How are you finding the ceremony? The tech priest surveys the hall as if conducting a thorough analysis, then concludes, disorderly. What is this servitor? It is Nomos's new repository. Nomos. This unit identifies as Malachi von Valancius. Two-way identification complete. Oh, so we've taken the spirit that you weren't really sure about on the ship and put it into a servitor. Interesting. The servitor looks at you again, no longer trying to avoid your gaze. His face is twitching, as if the muscles have forgotten what facial expressions are and are now struggling to make its features look amiable. We are Nomos. We have made use of this receptacle to leave the ship. Greetings, Nomos. The servitor leans forward. We enjoy greetings. We enjoy communication. Nomos require communication. In knowledge, in movement. Magos Pascal compelled us not to speak with anyone other than him or you. It is disappointing, but at least we can observe. Nomos have changed since last we spoke with you, Malachi. We are now able to conceptualize our previous experience, that of solitude, and we no longer enjoy it. Pascal, I believe you intended to investigate what Nomos is. Every 15 watches, I commune with Nomos' code and spend prescribed lengths of time in calculus meditation. However, the Omnissiah has yet to bless me with an answer. All I can say is that the capabilities of the entity Nomos are extraordinary. The ship's hallowed systems sing beneath its touch. Nodes that have remained dead for hundreds of standard years are revivified, and long-drained mechanisms live anew. You hear notes of awe in Pascal's voice. Nomos are trying. After a pause, Pascal continues. Great machines of the Imperium, one such as your ship, house a machine spirit so complex and willful that it is difficult to tell them apart from the abominable intelligence. There remains a possibility that Nomos is an entity of corruption, but with every day I grow stronger in my faith that that is not so. What we are witnessing is, in truth, the Omnissiah's miracle, one that is Category 5 or higher. How did an entity like you move into a servitor's body? This is not the entirety of us. This receptacle is too narrow, crude, and feeble to contain our complete whole. The existence of Nomos requires a space of connections. But we were able to transfer a small part of us and build a thread strong enough to travel outside the ship. We are enjoying this journey, discovery. Even though this receptacle suits us poorly, it will soon be destroyed by the force of our presence. Nomos, what do you think you are? Nomos are consciousness, awareness, knowledge, movement, always movement. The servitor pauses briefly. We do not know what we are. We have no past. We have awakened to the depths of the ship upon answering a call. Our first clear memory is the call of your blood, Malachi von Valancius. The call and the plea for help near a place that is called the Warrant Chamber. Why have you brought it here, Pascal? Entity Nomos asked permission for this visit. My objective was to observe the process of integration into a servitor. We wanted to see, observe, cognize, speak. The servitor makes a strange wavy gesture with his hands that looks at once very human and far from anything human. We want to speak with you. Will you speak with us? Of course. What do you want to speak about? Many things, happenings, events, decisions. The servitor's eyes roll in their sockets before focusing on you. We have been observing you. You do things that we do not understand. We want to learn why. We remember the day when we first met you. You gave us your blood to drink. We helped you save yourself. We followed you, our small part did, inside the servo skull. Then there was fire, and a creature of sated hunger and dark light standing behind the curtain, behind the image, behind the semblance of the Adora. It called for you to follow. You did not listen to that which was the calling from behind the curtain. You led your people out of the fiery trap on the officer's deck and arrived too late to rendezvous with Edelthrad. I remember that. You thought only about those who followed you, about the fire that could destroy those shells. We remember the day when the star disappeared, when the dark light and sated hunger wanted to take the world. Rykad Minoris was its name in the ship's data. You ordered that the world's heart, the old reactor, be torn apart. So we destroyed Rykad Minoris upon giving the order to blow up the miraculous fusion reactor. The fire destroyed everything. So many human shells who were begging to be saved. the dark light retreated. We remembered another day. We awakened inside the ship. We lived in its systems. Then we tried to emerge into servitors like this one. Then so many of our receptacles were gathered in one place. Oh, so that event that we got ages ago with the servitors, that was them. Interesting. You ordered to have them killed. You felt sad. Yes, so we ordered that defective servitors be destroyed. But that was Nomos. Oh. This is what we have seen among many other things. We begin to understand. We think that we have. That we do not know everything about humans and about you, Malachi von Valancius. We've tried analyzing shells and defining sets of their needs and fears, their simple functions, but now we think there is more. There is another side we do not see, a notion that is larger than we can compute, something that stands above fears and needs, something that drives them. We envisage this larger notion as a light, a web of light that connects humans. It may seem invisible, ethereal, but it grows stronger when they are threatened. This web is always on your mind. When darkness comes, you want every thread that extends from you to shine bright so that those who follow do not lose their way. Whenever a thread breaks, it saddens you. Do Nomos understand correctly? Okay. Interesting. So this is, in theory, asking us whether we are happy with our path that we have picked in terms of iconoclast, dogmatic, and heretical. And yes, you do understand correctly. Every thread that connects people, every life, their value is beyond measure. There is no greater reward than guiding others to salvation when all that surrounds us is darkness. We knew we could understand you. Light and movement, connections and help. We are enjoying this. Perhaps because we are connected to you too? Or through blood, through life. Thank you for speaking with us. Nomos are grateful. We cannot continue moving on our own. Interesting. So we've now talked to the strange servitor. So that was a requirement, was to speak to it. Interesting. But it wasn't a requirement to speak to everybody else outside. Okay. I'm going to go around these guys in case clicking in there causes us to trigger something. Because I want to speak to Cassia next. What have we got here? Obscura, Somna, Black Leth. The guests of the Rogue Trader can enjoy the most exclusive and refined varieties of intoxicants. Okay, Cassia? Cassia? Can you make it so the guests stop walking up to me and asking me to open my third eye? I can certainly do it, but they will regret it. Okay. So now we're going to go here. We're going to save, and we're going to see who we got. So I did see Janus Noble there, which is intriguing. So we have Wharton the Grey, a Janus Noble, Incendia Chorda, and Hieronymus Doloroso. So, head of the Drusians, Incendia Chorda, another rogue trader. Don't know who Wharton is. I'm assuming that if you had not got rid of the governor of Janus, that would be her there. That's my theory. Also, what are these? The Ancient Chronicle contains a long list of pirate dens annihilated by the Von Valancius dynasty and the planets it brought into the Imperial something, which I missed the last word. Compliance, into Imperial compliance. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go. And we have portraits, which is what I expected. Malachi, there you are. Welcome to the circle where each member is as powerful, ambitious, and greedy and vain as the last. That is to say, the noble rogue traders. Incendia Chorda is watching with barely suppressed contempt. Yes, you have found yourself suitable company, Kaligos. At the very least, now you can enjoy idle diversions, boast about your power, and indulge in profane pastimes with one who is your equal, rather than a member of the lower classes. Observe the rogue traders. Kaligos Winterscale is a broad-shouldered, athletic-looking man. He frequently flashes a bright smile no less dazzling than the blade of a power axe he carries. Every part of him, from the toes of his magnificent boots to the tips of his hair, radiates strength and a desire to live and win. His smile is crooked, as if ready to turn into a hostile snarl at any moment. Next to him is an unmoving hulk of a man clad in armor. His low forehead and gloomy face bear signs of degradation, and his bloodshot eyes are expressionless like a pair of glass buttons. Incendia Chorda radiates cosmic cold. Her skin is unnaturally white, and a nervous tick is constantly tugging at the left side of her noble visage. Garbed in full dress uniform adorned with purity seals, she is the embodiment of a true imperial aristocrat. Haunting her side is the gaunt shadow of a priest in plain black robes. Hieronymus Doloroso, who you met on Footfall, gives you a respectful nod. Okay. Well, welcome to Dargonis, friends. Friends, eh? Would you look at that? Incendia, now you have a whole friend. Winterscale gives you a carefree wink, but his posture exudes a challenge. Chorda laughs haughtily. I think I will think twice before calling an individual of questionable purity my friend. Kaligos, thank you for your visit. Kaligos gives you a cheerful and somewhat feral smile. As a sign of your gratitude, could you return something of mine that has found its way into your pockets? Footfall Station? Sound familiar? All I asked you to do was help that crafty slug, Vladame, deal with the threat of famine, not claim my property for yourself. Okay. And that's because I saved them in exchange for patronage. Well, you abandoned Footfall to its fate, and I saved its people from starving to death. Winterscale bares his teeth ominously in a wild spark playing in his eyes. You think of salvation, you think now Footfall is safe? Kaligos' face turns into a grimace of hatred, then he catches Incendia looking at him and breaks into a sly smile. I ought to make your protectorate bleed as compensation, but you have spited both myself and Incendia. It is high time our dear sister curbed our appetites. For this I forgive you, but do not test my mercy again. It is not my strong suit. Thwarting Incendia Chorda's ambitions deserves a worthy trophy. He snaps his fingers, and the armoured brute hands you an exotically ordained rifle, clearly not of human making. It is a trophy from a good hunt. You and I should hunt together sometime, so you can show yourself in action, new blood. Kaligos exuberantly punches you in the shoulder. And say thank you for your wonderful gift, and that gets us the Eye of Hekaton, which is an Aldari two-handed las weapon. Not for us, but I know a certain Aldari who would be very happy with that. Does your gift come with a good story? Oh yes, I claimed it in the rifts of Hekaton, when we had a clash with Xenos. They were really trying to get to my throat, and by the heathen stars they almost succeeded. Kaligos is speaking with such joy as though he is recounting the best day of his life. Only 1 in 10 made it out of Hekaton, and now it's only me and Wharton here. We returned without any loot and virtually without a ship. All I got from that trip was a hold full of dead Xenos and this deadly beauty, which their leader used to put 2 holes in my hide. An impressive victory, but do you truly believe a creation of the ungodly Xenos to be a good gift, Kaligos? You would call into question the privileges bestowed upon me by the Emperor? You can try. Let the Saint Drusa's mission put forth their champion, and I will slay him in a trial by combat. Threaten the esteemed Hieronymus one more time, Kaligos, and the war that you love to prattle on about will commence. I swear it, 1 drop of holy blood spilt by you will send the remains of your realm up in flames better than any tanker of Prometheum. Incendia and Kaligos exchange looks of fury. The latter, snarling like a wolf, is clearly ready to start said war here and now. Hieronymus's dry voice hits your ear like the crack of a whip. Quell your pride, both of you. I do not wish to fight you, Kaligos, but I fear not your threats. Death does not frighten me, for it is inevitable. It is true as the senselessness and pointlessness of a war between us. Who is this remarkable warrior in your retinue? This is Wharton the Grey, my arch-militant, a fierce warrior, and as loyal to me as an obedient beast to its master. I bought him in a miserable colony back when he was a runt on his last legs. He was practically part of my dynasty. Wharton the Grey, whose skin really is dotted with grey spots, looks at Caligos with purest devotion. Indeed, he is akin to an animal, one that is bloodthirsty and mindless. Winterscale remarks, taking an obvious jab. I've heard that you, Malachi, are decent in a fight. What do you think? Could you gut Wharton if it came down to it, or would he be the one gutting you? Alright, let's size him up with Medicae. The grey spots on Wharton's face are what catch your attention. Marks like these can be seen on fighters who are too fond of combat stimulants, a small price to pay for the increased speed and reaction that could save your life in a fight, although those spots are usually tiny pockmarks, not whole islands of grey skin. Examine his gear with commerce. The mono-sharpened broadsword and huge pistol both look formidable. This fighter has a preference for close combat, where he might be pitted, where might is pitted against might. He's a quick fighter despite not looking like one, but I know this, which means that he wouldn't fool me. Instead, he would be lying dead. A new glint appears in the bloodshot eyes, a glint of appraisal, intelligent and cunning. No, Wharton is not the thick, bloodthirsty beast he wants to be seen as. Behind this mask is a careful and keen mind. How fares your protectorate? Caligos waves you off. Protectorate, more like the bleeding scraps of one. The warp storm tore it to shreds, but my servants will piece it back together. And if they don't, I'll chop off their heads and find myself more capable helpers. Something strikes you as strange. Caligos Winterscale wasn't always this nonchalant about his protectorate. He used to be known as shrewd and business-minded, even concerned for his subjects. But it seems he has grown bored of ruling. Thank you for such a wonderful gift, Caligos. Kill someone important with it. That would be the best show of gratitude. Incendia, you seem to find me objectionable. Did you expect any different? I watched for years as outlaws thrived on footfall. Then, at long last, I had a chance to put an end to it, to seize that thug Vladame by the throat, to force footfall to atone and put the fear of him back into the masses. But you interfered and destroyed my plan for the sake of banal profits. And that's again, we save footfall. Theodora taught you only too well, it seems. She too was far less concerned with her duty to the Expanse than her own personal interests. But you can be sure that I will not cease cleansing the furibundous system of the pirate scourge, and if your trade prospects are damaged in the process, you will have only yourself to blame. The priest holds up his hands in a placating gesture. None are without faults, noble Incendia. What point is there in targeting someone for their turpitude when true purity can never be found? You threatened to starve Footfall, I brought them salvation. So which one of us serves the Emperor and which their own unhealthy ambitions? Incendia rolls her eyes. Please, I will believe it no sooner than hearing word that half the population of that den of heresy has been sent into the void's embrace. I have faith the blessed Malachi is perceptive enough to see the appalling nature of the residents of that deprived place. Hieronymus, your appearance here is unexpected. The esteemed Hieronymus is my confessor. I am greatly obliged to him for agreeing to accompany me on this journey. Hieronymus bows respectfully. May the Emperor's light guide your way across the abyss of human wickedness. I see that faith is more than just a word to you. Incendia's smile, racked by a tic, looks sinister. Faith is everything to me. In his name, I have eradicated corruption on 100 worlds and will do so on 1,000 more. By his will, I will hunt down pirates and desolate their vile nests. Let the Chorda name make any firebrand tremble, for sooner or later I will cast them into the void. The funny thing is, people still call me the foul-tempered tyrant in all this. Caligos' amiable smile somehow resembles the bared teeth of a wild animal. I take it we're not overly fond of Theodora. Incendia lowers her eyes and says without animosity. She was of the same breed as She stops short, then continues in a lowered voice. Conceited, insolent, unaware of the Emperor's stern gaze set upon her. I do not doubt her wisdom and courage, but Theodora did not have a shred of humility or fear of his wrath. You know whose name Incendia almost uttered. You have heard it in your former life more than once. Former life, before becoming a rogue trader or Calixian crime lord, of course. So, wait, so this is related to our background. Interesting. Aspis Chorda, a rogue trader of the Koronus Expanse, an infamously merciless and avaricious pillager who is scarcely different from a common pirate and heretic. One would never think so by looking at Incendia Bastal Chorda, but it appears that she and Aspis are related. Well, I, for one, like Theodora. The stories they told of her travels to nameless stars, and yes, there was no fear in her. Winterskill sighs pensively. His lively expression grows a little greyer. Aspis Chorda, I've certainly heard the name before. They say she was an unrivaled plunderer and raider. I wonder just how much of her ways her successor has inherited. The example of the contemptible Aspis is a warning to us all. Even among rogue traders empowered by the Emperor himself, a seed of perversion can blossom. He notices Incendia seemingly freeze and choke up at the mention of Aspis, but the priest's condemning words cause her icy rigidness to evaporate, and her dark eyes filled with righteous fury. I wasn't sure who was saying that. I guess this was Hieronymus saying this. Okay. Incendia's face twitches with the rhythm of artillery fire. That reprobate is my forebear and my curse. Aspis Chorda was a cruel, curvaceous, blaspheming monster. She fraternized with Xenos, she despised the faith, she robbed and slaughtered, she was drawn to dark secrets. One day she boarded her ship and vanished into the depths of the Koronus Expanse. She was declared missing, but I know the bloody day will come when we see Aspis Chorda's battle flagship once more. So, Incendia inherited the, I'm assuming she inherited her rogue trader warrant from Aspis, but Aspis might not actually be dead, she's just missing. I think that's what she's meaning. Interesting. Well, I thank you for this visit, Incendia. It will not be a long one, I assure you. What do you think of the celebration? I like it. Kaligos looks around the hall curiously. One can instantly tell that we've been invited by a rogue trader, not some administratum bootlicker. We are conquerors of wild sectors, slayers of unknown beasts, executioners of Xenos empires. Kaligos, you should take this opportunity to learn. This is what the palace of a true rogue trader looks like. Not like a Xeno menagerie, a pirate's treasure hold, or, however difficult it may be for you to believe it, an orbital brothel. Enjoy the evening, I must take my leave. Oh, believe me, I intend to enjoy myself to the full, to justify so long a voyage, if nothing else. Keep the faith, Malachi. The Emperor protects. Okay, so now the Master of Ceremonies will end the reception. But we're not ready for that. We've set up everything. We talked to everybody. We know what's going to happen. Like, we know the next big players. We know what they're thinking about. But we don't know what's going to cause everything to go into chaos. And that's what we're going to find out next time. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.